Ember Moon, her name was trending due to the fact of Toni Storm no longer being with the WWE. Toni Storm took a hiatus and said, "Man, I'm out." Me personally, I don't know the reasons. I don't know the reasons why or anything like that. I just been reading what you guys have been reading, and that is, she's, where, what I mean? She's tired, ready to take a step back. That's some of the readings. Now, I don't even know if that's true. That could be false. Maybe it's a totally different reason. But I'm gonna tell you right now. How old is Toni Storm? What, 20, 24, 25, 26, somewhere in there?
Yeah, I think 26.
Okay. I didn't get into the business until I was 25. So I didn't have time to get weathered or worn or anything like that. I was ready to make some money. I don't know how long she's been doing it, if she's been out there on the circuit, or if that how many times have I said, man, you better be careful what you wish for. WWE schedule is the hardest thing you're ever going to go through in life. It's harder than any football schedule, baseball. I don't care what sport. WWE schedule is harder or just as hard than any of them. So I'm like this here. If that's the reason, taking a step back, it might be a good thing, because you got to be ready to get out there on the road. And how many times I've said, a lot of people they take this and they say, well, this guy, he can do it. Oh, this guy can do it. Well, you ain't that guy. My thing is this. You can't call in sick. You can't you can't call in and say, hey, man, I need a day off this week. I don't know why, but the business has just never been that way. It's a machine, and it runs like a well-oiled machine. And the thing is, just think about it. The watch, one piece. Take one piece out. Does it work?
No.
Exactly my point. Just one piece. One piece. And that's the way this machine has been running for years. Now, I know the debate is going to be, well, should it change? That's the question.
Well, yeah, I mean, first off, to address the Toni Storm side of it, there are rumors that she was burnt out, which I know she's been on the independent circuit wrestling for a long time. I think she was in ICW. She, of course, was a part of the NXT UK. Those overseas travels definitely can wear on you, I'm sure, over time. Especially if you are a native European and you are making those treks back and forth to visit friends, family, go over and do NXT UK, come over for Mae Young Classic, then go back, then come back for Smack. You know what I mean? You can definitely, I can easily see you get burnt out rather quickly, and you're away from your friends and family that you grew up with. That wears on your mind, body, and soul. If that is the reason, and she said, hey, look, this isn't good for me. Like, let's put the career aside for 1 second. This isn't good for me, the person. Like, I'm not mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically in a good spot. And she thought that, asking for her release was best for her. Then more props to her. I think that Toni Storm had a phenomenal upside. Again, when we look at the boxes, when we talk about the boxes that you can check, she pretty much checked them all. She could wrestle. She had a great look. I think that some things that they were doing with her character, I wasn't a huge fan of, but she's 26. She's got time to be molded right into a megastar. So that's that. But to address your other point about should the business change, I think that there's always that you can't take an off season in wrestling. It's always been a 52-week-a-year business. It's always going to be a 52-week-a-year business. Wrestling really benefited in the pandemic for being the only sport to never go off television, right? It's because it's a 52-week-a-year and the show must go on no matter what. I do think there are ways that you can schedule people in and out, right? This has been talked about. I'm not the first person to ever say this, but hey, let's just use Randy Orton as an example. Randy, we're going to need you for a, 120-day stretch. We'll give you a month off, month and a half off. Then we'll have you back for another 120-day stretch. We'll give you 6 weeks off, things like that, so that you can kind of stay, one, as injury-free as possible. If you do have nagging injuries, you can have the rehabilitation to take care of them, and so on and so forth. And we're in an era now where mental health is a real thing. I think that it was kind of a thing that you didn't talk about back in the day, but now it's, people have issues. And sometimes time away is the best way to cure the soul so you can get back and be the best that you can be.
You know what? I agree with everything you just said there, but I think more so, just think about the evolution of just about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has evolved, even the tire. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not the same tires we had back in the 70s.
Right.
Okay, and things, yeah, just sports. You know, just say for instance, back in the day, it was a point in time where you couldn't dunk. And then they changed the rules. No, I'm serious. You know
I
what I mean?
know.
And then boom, you can dunk. And then next thing you know, they say, man, guys hitting too many 2-pointers. Let's make a 3-pointer. All right, let's make a 3-pointer. You know, I'm sure the 4-pointer is coming soon. The way some of these guys are shooting, I'm serious. You know what I mean? The football game, the way the quarterback now is protected. You know, you get close to Brett Favre, it's going to be a flag coming out.
Right.
You know what I mean? You get close to Tom Brady, you know, flags going all over the place. You know what I mean? So every form of life has changed. So I do think the business is going to have to evolve sooner or later as far as that go, with the guys that's making the money, the guys that's drawing the dollars. Because you know it's always been a thing. Time off is your worst enemy. But I do think, like you said, the way the world has changed with mental health being at the forefront now, of so many not just sports, but Hollywood, everywhere is coming into play. It's got to be addressed, and it's got to be addressed seriously. So I do think sooner or later, that part is going to change. I don't know when, but I think it has to.
It has to. Again, also, the only natural resource that WWE or AEW or Reality of Wrestling has is the talent, right?
Exactly.
And to be able to protect the talent in the best way, because if you're running, it doesn't matter if the car is made in Germany or it's made in the United States or made in Japan. If you're putting a lot of miles on that car, things are going to start breaking. It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
You know what though? I must say it's a mental effect as well. It really is.
Yeah.
Because for me, I must say, throughout my time on the road, for all the years, it was struggling with myself, being able to, there again, like I say, not have the will to not be able to call in sick, even though I'm not feeling well. I got to get the job, like you just said earlier, the show must go on, so I had that mentality. And I tell you, it was really, really hard having that mentality. I was a loner. I stayed by myself a whole lot just so I could focus within and not get caught up in, what was surrounding me or anything like that, because it could have totally just took me off of my game. And we may not be having this conversation right now, but it is very, very serious as far as mentally trying to stay focused. In today's game, I must say, the wrestlers, the superstars, the entertainers, whatever we want to call them, I think they have more to deal with today than they ever had to deal with back in the day, just because, like I say, social media.
Oh my gosh,
the
yes.
way they can't wake up and go to sleep without someone having a negative comment about them, and they're having to try to live up to an image that sometimes is unachievable, so it definitely has to be a monster. I hear about these young guys today, like getting off Twitter, just totally just abandoning Twitter because they can't take the talk on a daily basis, the negativity on a daily basis. It's got to be pretty hard. I'm glad I don't have to live with that.
Oh my gosh. I mean, even I at a different level than some of the guys who are on television, you sometimes you look at through the YouTube comments or you look at your Twitter timeline, somebody says something nasty to you, and you know that they're a faceless, nameless person, but then that comment will get to you. You'll think about it for an hour. Maybe you'll think about it for a day. Maybe it lasts months because it's something you already feel about yourself. And now here's some random person reaffirming it for you, right? That social media it is a monster, man. And I think that obviously you can't pay attention to it too much. I also think though, some people live and die by it. like this is where the world is. So if this person says it, everybody must think that. But I heard somebody say a long time ago, you're never as good as they say you are, and you're never as bad as they say you are. You're somewhere in the middle, right? And I think that if you can remember that, you'll be all right on social media.
Yeah, which I don't believe in none of that. I'm better than all that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't going down here. That's out. But no, man. We got to talk about what do you think is next for Toni Storm? Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. But now we're in a different era. Just like we were just talking about. Guys, needing that time off. Guys, that pressure being a whole lot. And it's not like it was back then where we had to push ourselves. It's not. So I understand it from both sides. I totally understand it. And that's why I say it's going to have to, it's going to have to be a middle ground where we find as far as where everybody's happy in this era where we at right now.
Yeah, I mean, definitely we've seen more people pull out of things for different reasons. I think a lot of it has to do with, like you said, that burnout. And there's actually something that happened through the pandemic. It's called the quarter life crisis, right? And you've always heard the midlife crisis.
Yeah.
But people are going through the quarter life crisis, where a lot of people my age and even a couple years younger are thinking, is this what I really want to be doing? Is this what I want to do for the next 30 years? Is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? Is go to this job or do this travel schedule, work these hours? Is this really what I want to do? Is there something out there that's better for me and fits my style a little bit more? We've also seen a rise in entrepreneurship, throughout the pandemic. People saying, look, I'm gonna get on, right? Look, by any means necessary. A lot of people hopped on OnlyFans and made a couple hundred G's though.
Made a whole lot of money. Made
a whole lot of money saying, you know what, there's a better way that I can do this other than living by the rules. Because I will say, when you join a wrestling organization, whether it be WWE or reality of wrestling, there is a pressure that I think everybody puts on themselves to make sure that we're always there. Like you said, I've never missed a show in my 9 years. I've not missed one show. One time I had to call it with the flu. I had like 101-degree fever, and I was sitting there on the desk hacking my lungs out because I said, I can't miss a show. For two reasons. I mean, because one, it's the pressure you put on yourself.
Yeah.
And two, I don't want to end up like Charlie Haas and get fired on vacation.
There's a lot of pride you take.
There's pride you take.
A lot of pride you take not missing out. But like I say, we're in a different era now. And as far as guys needing to take a step back, I think, just like you said, being able to have a fans only and be able to make money, be able to have a Twitch channel and be able to make money, being able to, go out and, take bookings, and people pay you to show up. I was just looking at Braun Strowman, now known as Titan, got a white beard, had an autograph signing with an alligator, I mean, he's somebody now. I mean, he's got what I always tried to tell everybody about myself in this business. This is a tool, you know what I mean? And now I have a tool to be able to work with forever if I work it right, you know what I mean? So it's just so much out there right now. I just think we are totally in like I say, a different world as far as why are guys leaving?